to our channel. Today, I'm excited to share with you how I'll be making a terrarium with a suspended island. Now let's get on with the build. For this, I will be using the stone, and this look like dragonstone, this one in particular. Although I am not sure what type of stone is this. This looks really similar to dragonstone. I decided to use these two pieces as the center of the scape. Usually I would call it the landscape material, but in this case the airscape material. This piece of wood fits perfectly as though it was made for this. The only problem is that it is a bit big for the container. After making a rough estimate, it was cut to length. It took some trial and error to get the right length. Now it is time to lock things together with the super glue and tissue method. I'm going to speed up the video right here so that you don't get bored watching me glue things up. Now it's time to connect both parts, or in this case islands, mini islands to be precise. Then I'm using some expanding foam in order to seal the deal. After 15 minutes or so, the expanding foam has partially cured. Now, using my fingers, I am pushing the expanded form in for extra strength. This is the container that I am going to be using. As you can see, it's quite large, the largest one so far on my channel. The next step is to add the false bottom, also known as a drainage layer, after wiping the glass clean with a tissue. It is time to cut out the substrate barrier. As the name suggests, it is a barrier between the substrate and the false bottom. Next is the substrate layer. This is a custom mix. It is made of 2 parts sphagnum moss, 1 part bark, 1 part sand, and 1 part soil base. For that I used some potting soil. After moistening the soil, I did a test fit so that I can get an idea of how to build the rest of it. This is one of the stones that I showed you at the beginning of the video. After positioning the stone, I did another test fit in order to see how it will look. I don't like the look of this piece sticking out, so I decided to remove it. These are the moss I will be using. Leucolia bantriensis. Unknown species of moss. Cushion moss. I am unsure of the species. Haircap moss. Meumhornum horncalcareous moss. Leucolia bantriensis. Now let's get started with planting the moss. Amblistigecia moss. Fern moss. adding some fine gravel in order to make a mini pathway. Now I am adding some springtails. First, I tried to carve the expanding foam, but it didn't work out, so I decided to use rocks instead. As you will see later on in the video, I decided to chop off this part and replace it with another piece. I decided to use this piece for adding the small details, basically the root system. This includes breaking a piece of and gluing it to the rock. Remember to add it in the cracks and crevices for a natural look. This can take a while, so I decided to speed up the video. Originally, it took me 30 minutes or so. You only have to watch me do this for 1 or 2 minutes. This rock was broken into smaller pieces so that it can be used to hide the expanding foam. I am separating the smaller in the large pieces for convenience sake. First, I tried to hide the expanding foam with some rock dust and silicone. But it was not very effective, so I decided to use rocks instead. Now it's time for a test fit, and it doesn't fit. It seems that this piece is blocking it. So I would have to remove part of it. First, I thought that I can get away with removing some part of it, but it still doesn't fit, so it seems that I will have to completely remove it. It originally took 12 minutes, but thanks to the power of editing, it only took 12 seconds. So you wouldn't have to watch the painstaking process. I hope that it fits this time. Finally, it fits. Now I can add some touch of green. Basically the moss. Here I am using some fern moss. I am turning on some music while I am adding the moss. Now it is time for our islands to get back into the container. After adding some more water and cleaning the glass, I added some more springtails. After all, I added springtails in the land. It's only fair that I add some in the islands. Now it's time to seal the container. Meet the residents of this island. You will probably recognize it if I call it the roly-poly. This is our second residence after the springtails. These are some millipedes. Might look like that there are 3 of them here, but there are 4 in total. You can see the biggest one of them right here.